Everyone. Right, right. Well, so great to see you all here. Oh my God, my dear friends. I think we'll start, right? So it's like 1 minute to go, but I'll try to be brief, but I will appreciate if you can find a possibility to ask me questions, if there are any questions from you. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. And I wish to every one of you and to your nations peace, stability, and I especially wish the people of Indonesia the prosperity and the great achievements on the way of presiding in ASEAN and well, on the way of towards the global leadership. This briefing, I would like to start from my very recent experience of coming back to Ukraine. That was really a very special one. I think that unfortunately for some of you, this was you had a similar experience of listening, watching, and having the missiles or drones flying over your heads. Unfortunately, and once again I wish everyone here not to ever have this experience in your lives, not for you, not for your children, not for your grandchildren. That was scary and a bit of, it's not easy to describe the feeling. It's like finding yourself at a loss, finding yourself not knowing what to do, and like a great misunderstanding of what's going on. How can this be possible in the 21st century? But anyway, we were gathered by the president of Ukraine for a annual gathering, annual meeting of the ambassadors, annual conference, and definitely we met all the leaders of Ukraine. We had a nice communication with the president, prime minister, and ministers, and the leadership of the parliament, etc., etc. It was a good communication, and we became even more confident on the points that I was trying to describe here before during my last month of working here in Jakarta. Now I would just like to reiterate and explain some points and just explain what's going on finally. On the third day of our conference, we also visited city of Mykolaiv. It's on the south part of Ukraine, which was massively attacked by Russian missiles during last like 8 months. And the destructions you could see, it's nothing like you can describe. And it's different, actually, really very different from what you can see from the pictures on the photos and everything. It's destroyed buildings, it's destroyed schools, destroyed hospitals. It's the remains of the cassette bombs that devastated for the people, that kill everything alive in the diameter of 20 to 30 meters. So it's scary and yeah, and very unfortunate. So we saw this. I repeat, good news is that we are confident about what's going on, and we are grateful for all our partners and friends who want and do a lot to put the end of this war, put the end to the aggression of Russian Federation to Ukraine, and restore peace in Europe and in the world. So my little presentation will consist of few parts. One part is I think one of the most important part is about the peace formula presented by the president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky. First, it was presented on the G20 summit, but after that, it was well, we worked on it a lot, and everyone made a certain input. So it appeared now in a new format, and the most important thing is this peace formula could be universal instrument and could be universal tool, not only for stopping the war in Ukraine, but stopping the any wars or conflicts worldwide in any region of the world. could be used as a pattern, as the matrix for this. Moreover, it can be used as a preventive instrument, bearing in mind and taking into account the points raised by the president of Ukraine and the government of Ukraine effectively. It could be the mechanism of preventing any military conflicts, wars, invasions, and aggressions worldwide. This is its, I think, its value in main value in this. The 10 points of peace formula of President Zelensky did not appear from the thin air, right? Because since the end of February 2022, a lot of world leaders and a lot of politicians, activists tried to become mediators, tried to become peacemakers, or try to somehow to make a contribution to the restoration of the peace in Ukraine. Unfortunately, the main objects of those efforts were the main goals of those efforts were like to persuade Ukraine to surrender and to give up the occupied lands for the sake of saving lives of the people, or try to persuade the hyena not to eat meat, meaning that try to persuade the invader to stop the invasion or withdraw or something like that. Or there was not any plan at all. The plan was just like the best plan I could remember is like make Russia and Ukraine sit down and talk for decades. Let's establish the peace process that will last for decades, maybe. So it was inevitable that Ukraine, of course, together with, well, I guess together with our partners, had to work out its own plan. Plan A, Plan B, etc. And this plan, again, I repeat, one of the values of this plan is that it can be universal and it can be acceptable to many, if not all, the nations of this planet. Basically, you can have an access to that on our resources, but main points of this plan is the ideology of this plan is first, Ukraine will not have and will not want peace at any price. No, this will not going to happen. Second, any negotiations, any discussions and building up the concrete plans for rebuilding Ukraine, etc., could be possible only after the liberation of all the occupied territories, no exceptions, including Crimea, including Donbass, every single square inch of our territories. No exceptions, no proposals would be even listened to if they refer to trading by our sovereign land. Third, Ukraine would not need the so-called peace mediation in format of let's sit down and talk, let's freeze the conflict, let's make it a long story. No, this will be not acceptable and not necessary. So just in case anyone still wants to bother with this. Next point is, it is very naive if anyone still believes that Russia is capable of negotiations. I just call upon everyone, don't be naive. They are not capable of any negotiations, and they don't want any peaceful formula and peaceful process to take place. The idea is to destroy the Ukrainian nation and to obtain Ukrainian territory. That's it. It's nothing to be surprised of anymore. Anyway, second ideological point from this peace formula is every nation of the world are welcome. Every nation is welcome to join the formula, to join the peace formula, to join the process as co-leader or as the participant. Co-leader means I'll just come back to this 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 points. Co-leader means that the country that wants to be a co-leader of this peace formula of 1 point, of 2 points or something, will just take a leading role in organizing the process, in working out the further formulas, the further tools, very concrete tools of how to implement. That's it, no more, no less. And the participants will just join. Now, why I think this formula is such a good idea and such a great value, because I doubt that any nation in the world, after reading it, after analyzing it, would refuse or like reject it as not acceptable. Very briefly, first point is radiation and nuclear safety. It's about the nuclear security, global nuclear security, referring not only to the not using the nuclear weapons and not threatening anyone with nuclear weapons, but also to the misuse or to abuse of peaceful nuclear power, referring mainly to the atomic station and well, now as you know, one of the nuclear power station in Ukraine is under control of Russian occupants. So this can lead to the catastrophic, if anything happens, this could lead to the catastrophic consequences, much more severe than the Chernobyl power station in 1986. Everyone remembers this. Second, food security. Well, no need to comment, I think. Not anyone in this world is against the guaranteeing food security to the world. And we're not talking about the poor countries that depend on the food programs. We're just talking about any country that need to have regular food supplies and stable food supplies. So this is about how to guarantee the non-stop, non-interrupted food supplies from the territory that, for example, at this point is at war. Energy security. Again, no need to comment too much. We see what happens with the energy system of Europe, of Eurasia, and to the larger scale globally. And we understand that, well, without the sustainable and reliable energy supply, energy security, the world could be shivering and could be feverish with prices, with like stable heating in the countries that need it, with the industrial production, etc. No need to comment anymore. Next, release of prisoners and deported persons. This is a painful point, but I still believe that no country in the world would object it. Release the prisoners of war, meaning no tortures, no murders of the prisoners of war according to all the conventions, international conventions, and change all to all. It doesn't matter how many people are captured by both sides or whatever sides. What matters is that every life is, for us, for Ukrainians, every life is of greatest value. Every life is priceless. So it doesn't matter how many lives would we like how many people. It matters how many people and lives would we save by getting our people back. And of course, the deported persons who are now, nobody knows. It's like millions, could be millions, including like more than 400,000 children illegally deported to Russia. Next one, implementation of the UN Charter and restoration of Ukraine's territorial integrity and the world order. Well, here the word Ukraine could be replaced by any other country under occupation or under attack. Don't think that anyone in the world would object against the respect toward the UN Charter and respect toward the sovereignty and of independent states and of the world order. No more comments on that. Withdrawal of Russian troops and cessation of hostilities. Well, this is the tricky point, but to establish a peace on any occupied territory, will require to withdraw the troops of invader and reestablishing and stopping the hostilities against the civilian population. In this process, I assume the role of the United Nations Security Council might be decisive and might be very important. I'll come to this a bit later. Restoration of justice. I think no need to comment, because this will definitely be about the international tribunal against the criminals of war. And the specially established international tribunal will be dealing with the new fascists, like it was dealt with in Nuremberg or whatever. So we're not talking about the, I repeat, we're not talking about the nations, we're talking about the regime. Countering ecocide. Ecocide will perhaps will need more explanation, but we were talking about the, well, we are discussing the problems of climate change widely in the world. And this goes in line with that, because the, well, ecology at large. I mean, in many countries, like in Ukraine, we have a lot of industrial production. It will refer to the ammonium production, to the nuclear power, to the mines that, when flooded with underground waters, could be very dangerous in terms of penetrating the storages of the very dangerous chemical waste, etc., etc. So the contamination could be disastrous, not only for this or that region or district. Well, not mentioning the tens of thousands of maybe millions of creatures, of animals, in the wild who just died. We have the statistic that around 50,000 of dolphins in the Black Sea just committed suicides and all that, because of the military operations, because of the radars, etc., etc., all things that will influence the wildlife. So this is the big problem also for some species may just disappear as a result of war. Preventing escalation of war and repetition of aggression. Well, this is a clear point, no need to comment. And confirmation of the end of war, meaning the capitulation, finalizing the situation, the status quo, fixing it on paper, and then discussing and negotiating the peace process and rebuilding of damaged infrastructure and paying reparations and compensations for the families of those killed, injured, or tortured from Ukraine. So basically, this is the peace formula. And again, I welcome all the countries, all the states of the world to join it in this or that, somehow. You can join 1 or 2 or 10 of those. I mean, the governments of your countries. It can participate in any manner, with anything, with analysis, with physical participants, and this will be done in the framework of the United Nations. We expect the resolution to be prepared and adopted by the General Assembly in late February this year. And then we expected more events on that, about which I will inform everybody later. I think you can get the more information from your governments. It will be because, well, Ukraine follows the international rules, and it will be good that the United Nations will play its crucial role in this process. Meanwhile, incidentally, just remind everybody that, well, unfortunately, we have to come back to this issue, but legally, Russian Federation has no right to be in the UN Security Council. There was no procedure, there was no any grounds of Russian Federation to be present there as a successor of the Soviet Union, because it's not. That's first part of my plan. Second, I will just share with you some things that struck me seriously about what's going on. At present, well, Ukraine has a territory of 600,000 square kilometers, roughly 603 something. And out of this, just listen, 174,000 kilometers are contaminated with mines. Mainly it's anti-infantry mines. So the mines that would be extremely dangerous for the civilian people, children, anyone, farmers, who will 174 square kilometers contaminated with mines. And this will require definitely, now already it requires the efforts from international community for humanitarian demining of Ukrainian territories. Some territories already can accept the experts on that. Some, like relatively safe territories, are already in the process of that. And we have a lot of our friends from many countries, friendly governments, send the experts on demining. I think last one was from Cambodia, a delegation from Cambodian experts. And then many countries help us with equipment, help us with the technologies of this demining, because this means a lot for the safety of the future generations. Unfortunately, the anticipated timing would be like no less than 10 years, maybe more. It could be up to 15 years, etc. So this is the something I was really impressed, and it's a point of my thank you. Second thing, we talk a lot about well, it's understandable that Ukraine in this situation, Ukrainian people will need the support and help from the partners from the outside, from the outer world. But I understood in general terms what it means. But when I saw and experienced what it really means, I would like to repeat it to you again. After the destructive strikes of Russian missiles on our infrastructure, which actually did not influence the ability of our army to fight the aggressor and to liberate the territories, it just destroyed the infrastructure or damaged, which led to the blackouts in many districts and regions of Ukraine. And you just imagine when people, older or disabled, or people with children living somewhere on the 10th floor, where there is no electricity, no water, no gas, no heating, no communication, nothing. You just sit in the room, and if you have prepared some water, or you can gather some water from the snow or from the rain, then you take the candle and try to boil it and then cook something for your children. And this can last for days. 5 days, no water, no electricity. 3 days. At present, many regions have recovered a bit, but it's still like, if the electricity is being supplied like for 10 hours per day, it's already good. So people like rush and do something and like cook and prepare and all that. No desperation in that for the people. They don't demand, like as was expected by Putin, they don't demand the government and the president of Ukraine like to say, well, stop the war at any price. No, they don't. But they are suffering. People are suffering. And I call upon everyone of you, all your government. I know that you help a lot. And I know that we receive a lot of assistance from many countries, openly or secretively, or like proudly or below the radars, anything. God will see everything. So please convey the message to your governments. Any help will be really valuable, especially now these recent days, referring to the energy system, functioning of energy supplies and energy distribution. It will mainly refer to the not even to the generation, but to the redistribution of the energy from generation capacities, like transformators, like switches, like cables, etc. And the amounts are required are substantial. Thanks for that. That's any help will be really helpful. Next point I would like to pass over to is the still having the full understanding of the fact that Ukraine will not stop before liberating all the territories, including Crimea. Now I have to come back to the important point called the Crimea platform. Many of you know already what it is. Many of you are representing the governments that participated in it. And again, thank you, Brother Neboisha, and I'm grateful to your government for the last parliamentary dimension summit that was organized by your government together with Ukrainians. And thank you for the platform, for the peaceful for the peaceful corner of Europe that we could have this. And this parliamentary dimension will go on, and the summit of first ladies and gentlemen will carry on, and the summit of Crimean platform will be held this year, presumably in end of summer. And I just call upon everyone. This is the matter of sovereignty, human rights, general justice, and humanity. So I do understand that, well, I have understanding that the nations of the world do support these notions. If you do, join us, join the Crimean platform. Now it's easy because now we can do it in digital format or even pre-recorded like messages. So join it. It's not just about the occupied territories, not just about people who are staying there, who are still Ukrainians, who are still like waiting for the liberation. It's not about our historical territories, not about only about the Muslim population of Ukraine who lives there and suffers the occupation. It's about general, I repeat, sovereignty, justice, humanity. Join it. Last but one is the I have to mention this because this became a very important topic, unfortunately, after the beginning of the aggression. This is a topic of the Great Famine or Holodomor of 1932-1933 as genocide of Ukrainian people. We were planning to hold a series of events commemorating the victims of this genocide. Actually, it's plenty of materials everywhere, even the movies, The Price of Truth, shot by the, telling about the British journalist who first discovered this. But anyway, it's a lot of information on that. I'm going to have the special commemorative meetings during this year, and I will definitely invite all of you to join to understand what's going on. During the year's time, 1932-33, a year or plus minus, the number of victims who died of hunger, of starvation, amounted to, nobody knows exactly the figure, but it could be up to 10 million people starved to death. And again, I call upon all governments of all the free, sovereign, democratic countries to support this, not to support the initiative of Ukraine, and to recognize the famine of 1932-33 as a genocide of communist Soviet regime against Ukrainian nation, against Ukrainian people. I think by now there are like around 30 countries of the world, parliaments of the 30 countries of the world who passed the respective resolutions and recognized it as the genocide. We will be grateful for that. This is a big issue for Ukrainian history, and it's a big issue in the context of what is going on now in my country. And the last one is I hesitated if I should tell you about this, and then finally I decided that this is important. It's about the disinformation. It's about the informational hygiene, and it refers mainly to my friends, journalists and representative of media. First of all, I repeat my gratitude to Indonesian media people who visited Ukraine or who are going to visit Ukraine again. I repeat again, it's Tempo magazine, it's Compass, Compass Media, it's TVRI, whose team now in Ukraine and reporting every day about what's going on. And it's Metro TV, who is planning, just waiting for the accreditation. So thank you very much, friends, and anyone is welcome. But the informational hygiene is crucial for us to be aware of. Why I have to mention this. Recently, we still have a lot of attempts of the Russians or Russian agents to use absolutely outrageous tools to accuse Ukraine of something, to deliver the information to the netizens of the world. I'm not only talking about Indonesia, everywhere, to nullify the efforts of Ukraine and to deprive Ukrainians for our rights to survive and to be independent and to be sovereign. Please pay attention to one person I'm going to mention to you. This is Koni Rahakundini Bakri. Maybe many of you know her, and she's becoming viral in this in her attempts to, telling outrageous lies. I don't know how much she paid, or if she paid, or just for doing this for fun. But the dangerous thing is not even that she calls President Zelensky the war criminal of the century. Can you imagine that? She says that during G20, my president was speaking as a pre-recorded video, not speaking live, which is lies. She also touches very dangerous points, like telling that Zelensky is a Jewish, therefore he has no sympathy towards Ukrainians, and because they are not related in blood. I think that Indonesian human rights defenders and all, not only Indonesians, should pay attention to that, because this is something outrageous for the country with such a multinational country with often no blood relations between the people. What's she trying to imply? So I just want to warn you against this. Be careful and be informationally hygienic, be clean. Well, I laughed at that, and then I cried over that, like out of our desperation. How can I counter this? Please be aware. A lot of liars, a lot of provocators, a lot of agents paid by Russian regime, and this is dangerous. This is dangerous. I think I'm over because I still have 2 minutes left. So I'm not sure I can answer any questions, but I'm grateful for every one of you for being here. Let's meet up again. Let's keep in touch. Be happy, be healthy, be prosperous, and be safe. Great to see you. Yeah, I think I will not have time to answer the questions, but anyway, thank you so much. Any questions, just call me, text me, whatever. Yeah, I see there were 2 questions. Please text me. I will I will answer you. Teddy, and then someone else. Don't hesitate. I'm ready to. Yeah, and Sifa from CNN and from Liputan 6. Please text me. I will answer. I promise. Thank you so much. Good luck.